And we're live. This is the Nifty Alpha. I'm Pio. I'm here with my co-host here, Nifty Nick, and the artist formerly known as Sophisticated Art Speculator, Captain Kicks. And this is the Market and Trade Talk Show. In today's episode, we are going to be discussing what NFTs are a good buy right now. If you enjoy the content, as always, please like, subscribe, and comment, and join our Discord to keep the conversation going after the show. So I'll throw to Nifty Nick right here. It's November 2021. There's a lot to take into account here in terms of the macro conditions of the market, both on the NFT side and conversely on the crypto side. So why don't you lay it on us, Nick? What is the NFT that you would think would be a good buy right now in November 2021?
I thought you're the one that's actually picking it. So why are you throwing it to me in this case? Like, that was a hilarious joke there. Let's actually,
I can pick it.
No, let me take care of this for you since you didn't follow it. So,
geez Louise.
I'm sharing my screen. Why don't you load it up here so we can actually start with something that's key, which is the macro level. You're suggesting buying.
No, I'm not in Wolf Game, and I'm definitely going to make it because you're playing an on-chain game on mainnet during a bull run. Good luck with that one.
So, basically, we're on the verge of a bull run here on ETH. I don't know if it's like maybe it tests again. But my expectation here is that this is about to take off. And so if we're on the verge of doing that, I'm not buying here. I do not have conviction in this current NFT bull run that everybody's calling it. I just don't believe that it's the case. Instead, I've been selling. I've been selling basically any NFT that went up. I'll call it. Well, actually, yeah, any NFT that went up at all, basically, that I had lost money on, I'm trying to take those losses and then just keep my high conviction ones. I'm not selling my apes right now, even though we're seeing downward price movement already. We've seen it go from a 53 floor down to 49 right now. I think we're going to see a lot more of that in the near future if this breaks out. If we get sideways movement, maybe we get a few more days here of NFT bull run. But if your goal is to flip right now, this is not, you're at the tail end of flipping season, and that's when you get wrecked. You're going to buy into these different things.
And I agree with you, Nick, in terms of, because you're seeing it in the prices, right? We, once again, trickle down economics and NFTs. It doesn't always work this way, but when the action starts at the top, it moves to the middle, and then it moves to the bottom. And then, if the cycle continues, it kind of rinses and repeats that way. But look what we saw. We saw at the top, we saw Bored Ape Yacht Club. We saw Mutants moving first, right? Then we saw Doodles and all the stuff in the middle move. And now, as you can see in our Discord, everyone's just at the fucking, bottom mint and flip season down there. But then you go back up to the top, and what do you see? You're starting to see a pullback. And so I think that the smart money is at least hedging, which is what I'm doing, which means that I have exposure to the NFT projects that I have very high conviction in. I got a lot of sandbox land still. I got my ape, but I also have a lot in Ethereum right now, and I'm not buying any more NFTs because I do know that if we retake 4,500 with NFTs and we go in a bull run, it's going to result in not a good environment for NFTs.
Yeah, I mean, I'd imagine so. And so Nick actually just said that he lost his power for a moment, so maybe he'll join us. But me and Kix here can run this down. Nick's prediction was almost spot on. Shape wise, it's absolutely spot on, like literally to a T. Just got delayed a little tiny bit. And the idea is that if Ethereum, comes back ripping, and as you can tell, I'm over here listing an item, so I'll get off the screen in a second. But the NFT market is so going funny. To very much so, be affected by that. And you saw some notable influencers or big accounts in the NFT space basically calling this a bull run and making big calls. So here, check it out. I'll just pull up some Twitters, or actually I'll just go back to the market and we can take a look at what's like popping right now. The bottom line
is with a lot of the influencers too, they just, not all of them, I think some of them are very well informed on technicals and fundamentals, but there's a lot out there they're very smart entertainers and they're very smart with NFTs, but they are just saying it's a bull run because they think it's a bull run, and it's, you know, not based on data that they're necessarily seeing. But I think when you look at the data, I mean, like best case scenario, once again, is what Nick says, which is like we range for another period of time, but you have to be really cognizant that if ETH goes on another ripper up, it's going to be very painful in the NFT space for sure.
So would you buy anything right now, like for the long term? And if so, what would it be?
Nothing.
So, I mean, look, I'll throw one thing
if
on.
I was minting and flipping on 24-hour windows, I'd keep doing that right now.
And that's been happening. People in our Discord, actually, like Jesse, other people in the Discord have been guapping up for the better part of the week.
Yeah,
It's been going really well. In terms of like a long-term hold, right? I look at Smiles. So Smiles is holding like a 0.66 ETH floor. So definitely, you know, doing well compared to the mint price for sure. There are rumors of a snapshot happening early next week, and the speculation is that the airdrop is going to be the original placeholder of the Smiles character doing the 360 flip on the desk. So I think a lot of people are interested in that. A lot of people would like to see that you know, end up getting airdrop to them. The key here, the alpha, is if you're already holding multiple Smiles, what you'll want to do is you'll want to send the other Smiles that you have to different wallets. So you want to have one Smiles in each wallet that you have, because we've learned this where airdrops are now becoming one per wallet versus one per mint. So I took all three of my Smiles, put them in different wallets. I'm ready to accept those airdrops. I'm also ready for a big dump in this project where it could just like literally dump down back to mint price, in which case I'll accumulate more. But I'm basically operating with the expectation of a bear market, right? So you've said it so many times, Kicks. You don't want to get caught flat-footed under any circumstances. And if you're going to get caught flat-footed right now, when it's like kind of like a dead cat bounce sort of bull run that's been going on for like about a week here, you got to be ready for that bear, and you got to be ready to take your profits and get ready to have high conviction plays, maybe something that you write down ahead of time and know, like when everybody's crying on Twitter, when everyone is saying it's a bear market, we're going to zero, blah, 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 that's the stuff that you buy into.
Yeah, for sure. Like I'm sleeping good at night. I got money deployed on the crypto side. I got money deployed on the NFT side in good projects that are actually going to stand the test of time. So I'm like, you know, totally fine right here. If I have capital I could deploy in NFTs, I'm not interested in buying a single one. That's just like the fact of the matter for me. I'm just not going to buy when I think crypto is in a bull in bull season. It's just illogical. I think that like plays like Easy Eats doing over on Solana. I think Solana probably still does well here. Just people very quickly forget. Like people are happy right now trading at 100 Gwei. Like when the bull run started this year, when ETH was down in the low twos, we had ETH down in the low twos, and we had Gwei. 50 Gwei was expensive. We were trading 10, 20, 30 Gwei. We haven't seen something like that in months. We're still at 100 plus Gwei on average. And if this thing starts moving and people start swapping into all sorts of altcoins because there's better returns there, it's going to clog the network up so bad. If you're spending if the network's clogged up and you're spending 0.03 to make a transaction at 5K ETH, that's $150 a transaction. It's just going to put a temporary nail in the coffin on the NFT market. So you just have to be smart with what you're doing. And look, I mean, we even saw in this recovery here in the NFT space, the mid chips recovered. Even some projects that we don't even think are that good had little runs in it. So you don't even have to just like only be in blue chips, just be in halfway decent projects, and you know, you'll probably come out alive. But just at the end of the day, everyone on this panel is hedged in the sense that they have money in crypto and they have money in NFTs. The only reason why I make like these call outs is just because I know that there's people out there that have 80, 90% NFTs and like 10% in crypto. And in the environment that we're in right now, I wouldn't necessarily recommend that strategy.
Nick, any thoughts? We talked a little bit about how accurate your prediction was on ETH. I think that everyone is kind of coming around to the expectation that we're going to continue this bull run that everybody's been expecting, and that this was sort of a little bit of a dip in crypto and thus a dead cat bounce on the NFT side. Is there any action that you'd take right now besides sell?
Well, there's, for the most part, no. I'm looking for where I have I actually am not as big of an active trader. I just like watching the charts, to be completely honest. It's just like something that I enjoy to give me greater visibility.
If I had a God-given gift too, I'd kind of just play around with it instead of like actually using it the way God intended. I would do the same thing. So that makes sense to me.
I probably should use it to make money. I will say that's a good point. But in the time being, or for the time being, no, there's not a huge move. I can say the ones that I have the highest conviction in, which I would hold through this dip, or that what I was saying before, when we started seeing NFTs go down in price. Actually, a couple comments. One, this was actually one of the most bullish signals that we've experienced in the NFT space over the past week, basically. What it showed is
you mean for the long term?
Space is not gone. It's here for the long term. There's a lot of people that have demand for this, and we're going to make it, which we've been saying all along, but this was verification.
No, I totally agree with that. I think that's a great call, Nick. That's so true. That what this showed us is if the crypto markets just give us a little breathing room, people jump into here, bananas.
So what are we looking at here? Doodles is what commenters keep posting, and that's going to be my pick. I had it last time at 1.3, 1.5. What's my target for that? Somewhere back in that range again. Maybe I'd go up to like 1.8 or something like that, but I want to see it below 2 ETH if I'm buying. If it doesn't get there, it doesn't get there. But we didn't see this run up to, when we see something go to 6 ETH, 10 ETH, Cryptodes is a great example, went up to 15 ETH, pulled all the way back down to 3. Did I sell? No, I'm an idiot. But that would have been the smart move when you have something that looks like basically balls that you're selling as an NFT. And with neither of these have actually clear-cut value that they're delivering. But yeah, I mean, I think this could cut back another 50% here, and I'd be really interested in buying again, and I probably will, because right now I've been accumulating ETH actually during this run up and getting rid of all my low conviction items. I'm still trying to do that. I may get stuck here. It's not clear. I'm hoping that we get one more bounce down off this previous support, which is now resistance as it happens. And then maybe we get the next pump up is what we're looking for here. I'm not quite sure. So, but I'm looking to accumulate the best stuff at this point in time. Doodles, high on my list, where I'm interested in buying back in on this pullback. Everyone tends to chase. Right now is a chasing moment for Doodles. Pranksy bought a bunch of these. It just feels like this is a moment to identify those opportunities. That's highest on it. I added to the side of our Discord for things that I'm monitoring. I'm interested there. I'm interested in Cool Cats potentially. I don't have enough ETH that I don't want it to be like that large of a portion of my portfolio yet. But if I had an extra, if I have 10 ETH, I may consider putting 4, 5, maybe even 6 into a Cool Cat. So yeah, I'm not quite sure where we end up, but at this point, it's how do I get those best ones?
If I put together a little list for myself of what I'd like to buy, like let's just play out a scenario, right? Everyone talks about ETH to 10K. Let's just say ETH is at 8,500. Okay. So that's basically double what we're at right now, 2x. I think that you can also compound like sort of FUD, panic selling, bottom of the bear market type of scenario, right? So it's like NFTs would get cut in half theoretically by more than 50%, right? A little bit of a throw the baby out with the bathwater type of scenario, right? And like Kix was saying on our Twitter space this morning, people, whether you like it or not, do price their NFT trading in US dollars, right? It's not always in ETH. A lot of people are pricing in US dollars, if not the majority of people are. So when I play out that scenario, the projects that I think I could buy for cheap that I have super high conviction in are going to be Doodles, Smiles, a mutant ape. If a mutant ape gets low enough, we don't know if apes are going to
5 ETH,
be able.
3 ETH. I see it going back to 3.
If it goes to 3, then it's a no-brainer, right? It's a
3.5, yeah.
It's basically a no-brainer at 3.5. And it was last time too. It's shown 2 instances of running up to 8 ETH and coming back down, okay? So Mutant Ape, Doodle, Deadfellas, Smiles for sure. And if you want to know a savage Smiles play, stick around long enough for the snapshot for the airdrop. Once the snapshot's confirmed or once it's kind of figured out and they do the airdrop, then you can dump the Smiles probably for a gain. Like right now, I think I have a half ETH gain on my Smiles bag, but I'm holding it to get that airdrop. And then you can dump and realistically get back into Smiles cheaper, right? So Smiles, Deadfellas, Doodles, Mutant Apes, Peaceful Groupies, I'm still on the fence. I'm still on the fence on whether this one's going to be a ripper long term. We know it has really good art. We know that the artist seems like a cool figure in the space, but it's hard to tell, how quick or excuse me, how much staying power for the long term something would have. Like, for example, I wouldn't put Wanderers on my list because I'm not getting the same level of conviction from those.
So a couple of things here. One, I like someone posted Brain Drops and Fox Fam. I like both of those. I'm not buying them right here. Brain Drops, I missed Clear Silvers, and I want to own that. I actually think artist specific, that one falls into this interesting thing where it's way more art than it is collectible. And if I'm buying that, you could probably buy it now and it may withstand the drop. But in general, actually, art blocks got punished a little bit during the last bull run, during the last crypto bull run. So I'd be looking. That's another area I've been wanting a squiggle. I want to get into a squiggle at like 5 ETH, 4 ETH. I want to actually, frankly, I'd like to see devastation and demoralization of people in the NFT space. At that point, I'm going to be buying up some of these different items because we just identified that we're going somewhere. Last comment I want to add is someone mentioned party degens as a joke, but I want to at least comment on that. There's a hell no for me on that. But the main reason, I just want to explain why and what we're looking for, because we discussed this and I want to keep reemphasizing it. If you're out taking a photo of yourself on a private jet and the Rolex that you just bought and some other items, and you're flexing on people on your drop, your first drop, I'm not interested. I'm getting the hell out of that thing as fast as possible because
it shows their philosophy, which is that I convinced you to buy this thing and now I'm balling out. Because
I deserve this money.
Yeah, like, and obviously no one's heard about like the age-old thing, like when you would invite like a client over to your office, you take all the nice cars in the parking lot and you park them somewhere else. You don't have Ferrari sitting out front when someone's coming over that you're trying to sign as a client, because you're not trying to get off the image that they're your Ferrari money. These guys didn't read that book. They probably don't read books in general, which is why you saw things like this happen, which is fine. Let people flex whatever money they want. But
no, I think and maybe, they had money before, and some of them, I'll name, who's the main guy behind Party Degens?
Seed Phrase?
Yeah, Seed Phrase. Seed Phrase succeeded with his trades, but this still felt so much like a money grab, because if you're a billionaire, let's say, and he's directionally towards that, maybe he made 100 million or something like that. Once you're at 100 million and above, you get into a new, like, you can fly private, you can do some other things. You don't even need to.
And you deserve it.
Yeah, but
you made the money.
It's interesting just to see, like, the party where Party Degens was the sponsor was one that was so not community centric. It was one which was like really a bunch of photos of a bunch of influencers in this space taking photos.
They got a party. The degenerates that lost all their money weren't allowed in.
Yeah, basically. And so it's like, I don't know, that's just not classy and it's not cool in my book, because like I'd rather be like hanging out, sitting on a stool at a bar outside with some of the people in the community than like being in this place, hanging with people that aren't really your friends. Like, they're literally there because we all succeeded and self-selected ourselves into that group. but those aren't like your real friends. Like those aren't the people. Maybe in some cases they are.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, we're not trying to
case,
shit on them. If it's your money, do whatever you want with it. Run your project however you want to run it. But we're investing in projects where we see a clear alignment and direction with the community and a hunger to succeed. A hunger to succeed.
Hunger from the founder is the most important thing in my book, and just gratitude, genuine gratitude, I want to say, from those founders where they're just like, holy shit, we never expected this. And also, we're so committed to this. Here's what we're doing. And they just keep moving. So anyways, let's move on to
mine.
Yeah, what's your pick here?
But let P.O. He pulled up the deadheads. Let's let him talk his little deadhead pitch first. Halloween 2022 around the corner. Halloween 2022.
So, and one other project that came to mind that I forgot to mention before is Creature World, which I think is another very interesting one to put on that list. With Deadfellas right here, just a brief history on the price action of Deadfellas. There was a time where they would bounce between 0.1 and 0.2 quite a bit. They peaked at like 0.3 early on, right? And there was opportunity to trade them between 0.1 and 0.3 there for a while. Then they had their big rip, their big run up where they went up to 1.7. Peaceful Groupies, which is another project I bought at the same time, had a very, very, very similar trajectory to the 1.7 price point, which is where both of them topped out. Nifty Nick bought a Deadfella at 1.7. They then corrected way back down, and the thing about Deadfellas is they've displayed more staying power than Peaceful Groupies, for example. And what I saw from the Roadmap 2.0 for Deadfellas, it was basically the best Roadmap 2.0 that I saw besides Bored Ape Yacht Club. Like, I really was happy about the Deadfellas 2.0 roadmap, right? And now we've seen them go from a half ETH up to 1 ETH again right here on this little dead cat bounce, or whatever we want to call it, this mini bull run. I like this project. I think that for the long term, this is one of my higher conviction bets, not my highest, right? I'd put Mutant Apes before this for sure. Quite frankly, I think at this point, if we see a big correction on Smiles, I'd either put Smiles next to this or maybe slightly above it. And I think Creature World is at least on par with this, if not slightly above it. Doodles would be above this, but then this one's right comfortably in that spot for me personally. I'm holding one. I sold one of my 2 at 1 ETH on this little rip. I think I'm just going to hold this one. I guess I need to really actually think about what I'm going to do about that. The 2 big decisions I'm making now are, do I sell my Deadfellas, or 3 decisions? Do I sell my last Deadfella? Do I sell my only Creature? Because I think Creature's floor is around 2 ETH, so I'm going to take a look at that. And then do I sell all 3 Smiles right after the airdrop, lock that in, and buy back in cheaper? Again, none of this stuff is guaranteed. It's not a guarantee that it's going to go down, but that's the speculation that this panel, all 3 of us share that opinion right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think Creatures is cool. I've become less of a believer in like some people's prediction that it's going to be a blue chip 5-10 ETH, just because like the more I look at it, I don't like insanely love the art necessarily. And then also from like a project roadmap, like development, it's been a little confusing to me. Deadfellas it has never got, because it was just like, it looks like a like 7-year-old annoying kid showing up at your door for Halloween candy. So I won't comment on that. But my best pick right now would be a little bit of an unconventional one based on the macro conditions that we're expecting, which is that if crypto goes on a bull run, it's going to hurt Ethereum, not even just due to the price appreciation, but mostly due to the gas congestion. So my pick would be over on Solana. And I would be looking at blue chips on Solana, because I think that there's a lot of potential there. And just to give you one particular one that I kind of like, it's a project called, and I may butcher it, as everyone knows I'm not good at saying things, Aurory, Aurory. It's a gaming project. I staked some of it, and then I own one of the avatars. But that's just one of probably a multitude of good options over on Solana. But I do like the Solana play, because it doesn't matter what price Solana goes to, the gas is still pretty much zero. So I think that you have if you can get in good projects, And I'm not talking about like the flips that people in our Discord do, but I'm talking about if you get in an actual good, blue chip project over on Solana, I think that could, work relatively better than some of the plays on Ethereum if our thesis that we go on another leg of this crypto bull run ends up being accurate.
I'll actually tell you another real strong indicator here, which is if you give me your information, your contact information, and tell me to contact you, and then I contact you and you don't respond, and then you go and have these parties that I'm not invited to, fuck your project, okay? That's what I want you to know is for anyone that's out there, there's this entitled position of some of the people that are in this space, and I've seen many people that are humble. Look, we're not. I don't view myself as some like great, offering to the world. But I'm just saying, like, if you're gonna be flaky and sketchy with me, and you're like not really sincere, and you end up delivering something.
Oh, dude,
which under
yeah, someone just wrecked you.
What's that?
Look at this comment.
Yeah. So. Fair enough. Yeah, that
on the kettle black.
Okay.
You can't throw stones from a glass house, buddy.
Okay, well, I'm just telling you, if you're interested in what actions I'm taking here, it's ones that are going to be
that's funny,
motivated heavily based on that. But that is true. I am non-responsive to most messages.
Nick's point is that Nick considers himself a blue chip NFT influencer, and when another blue chip NFT influencer shuns him, that's a personal assault. Whereas if a mid chip person DMs him, he's a blue chip, you're beneath him currently, you still have to work up the food chain.
Okay, that's not what it is. It's not what it is.
That's what Nick's trying to say.
There's when you get messages thousands per day in your Twitter DMs, let me tell you what you deal with. You have to filter.
Wow.
Thousands.
Four
Literally.
figures a day. Wow.
It's very difficult. So when that happens, you need to come up with aggressive filters. And some of those filters, you end up meeting people and you get referred through people. You get all sorts of interesting things occur. And you got to determine, is this person contacting me with a stated intent, which is genuine? There were some people that sent some nice comments. Try a compliment, M123. Send me a compliment, not just about, anything. I'll bet you I'm a little more responsive. I'm going to have to teach you on how to cold message people. But
there you go. That is the alpha right there from NFT Nick. If you want to get a hold of him, shoot a compliment first, and then he's much more likely to get back to you.
Try and have a conversation. I'm not interested in someone shilling me. That's actually the bottom line. So I'm not cool, Julie.
I'll tell you what. If you want to know the best alpha on Sandbox Land, the best move that you could have made on Sandbox Land is just I went and did this whole connected plot strategy. If you just bought random plots across the map and just priced them at random numbers, you would have came out way far ahead. Because I see people buying single plots in the middle of nowhere randomly for 4 Ethereum when the floor is 2.3. And I'm just like, what in the heck are these guys doing? I just watched a guy spend 5 ETH on a plot in the middle of nowhere. Sorry, that was a complete tangent. Just in my head, I'm just like, I misplayed this scenario. I should have just been buying random plots and being like, this is worth 8 ETH. Let me just throw up this single plot and see what happens.
Pio, why is my Twitter on the screen? I don't understand.
He's messaging you right
everyone
now.
Needs to
get a hold of
everyone needs to know.
I really like your background too. Your banner. That's a good banner, dude.
Yeah, I created it.
Cool. I didn't care. I was just telling you that it was nice.
Thank you. Actually, I appreciate that compliment. I'll respond to your DM.
Yeah, I'm sliding into it, baby.
So, basically, high level overview, we expect ETH and Bitcoin to rip, and thus the NFT market's pricing to be negatively impacted in terms of ETH. We're already seeing Bored Apes sell off a little bit. Is that correct? Is that what we're seeing?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, 5% pullback, but once again, smart money is going to trade like smart money is going to trade. So
I saw a lot of people piece out of apes during this run. And it's it makes sense.
Completely piece out, or
Some of them, well, we had Micah G, who mentioned he sold his ape and downgraded to a mutant. And I think that we're going to see more people like that because I'm like so deep in that. All my gains, the majority of my gains, not all, well, that's not, yeah, actually, no, the largest gains are in those apes. So that's where like the majority of my portfolio is at this point. This is poor diversification. That said, oh, go ahead.
I was just going to quickly say to Richard Jones, Fuad Galalina, and Terrell Linkhorn, if you spam a project in our chat, there's a good likelihood we will mention you in the future, but it will be to FUD your project to the ground. So please don't think that spamming the chat about some random project on Polygon is going to make us like want to talk nicely of it. I appreciate your enthusiasm. I'm excited to have you here, but just one, you can just mention it once and it will be on our radar. We read the comments, but when there's like, 8 or 9 messages spamming it, it makes us way less.
Which one are you talking about? This billionaire one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably not going to make it. I mean, I haven't looked at the project. I have no idea. I'm just giving a broad assessment. When your marketing team is out there and their strategy in general is to flood various sites with, comments, it usually doesn't work that well. I felt bad. One of the founders of the one we discussed yesterday, and posted a comment, and I was like, "That hurts." And I actually
you bent them over and you spanked them like you were a nun in elementary school in the '60s.
So that's exactly what happened there. That was a great analogy. And basically, what happened was I felt a little bad this morning. I looked through the comments, and this time it wasn't them spamming; it was them being like hurt. And so I think, it's difficult to observe that. And I'm probably going to do that a lot less because I was also thinking the source of that is because when we play gonna make it, not gonna make it at the end of the show, the people that we say not going to make it without any analysis over that project,
they get really offended.
They get really offended, and they feel really
you guys
bad.
have to understand that when we say going to make it, not going to make it, we're literally reading off of the names, and we're making a decision
based on the names.
Project. So if anything, that's some alpha for you there. If you want your project to succeed, naming it Billionaire Zombies Club is like if I went and asked my 6-year-old daughter to come up with a name for an NFT project, right? You're literally just throwing a number value, the type of your project, and then like you could literally create an online generator that could do a better job of that. So have a little ingenuity on the naming, the art. I hope you guys have something really good on the roadmap, but I wish you the best of luck.
Just try to make something good, everybody, and like when we play gonna make it, not gonna make it, try to name projects that people actually want to buy. Yeah, we're just having fun,
So to recap, the ones that we're looking at buying during this pullback is Doodles, Deadfellas, Cool Cats I threw in there, Mutant Apes,
Creatures.
Creatures? No,
I'll buy a creature if it gets to the right price.
I don't know that was the consensus, but okay, that's you're definitely
that's my take.
Yeah. What else? You started off with Smiles.
Smiles. Yeah, absolutely. For me, Smiles.
Yeah, I would ape into that, Mika.
So
I'm gonna not say your fucking name.
So in terms of ones that we're looking for, those would be them. I'm looking for anything that's going to sustain a pullback here. Crypto Mories, that's one other that someone just posted. We should take a look at that one as a last item. Let's throw that up as a Hail Mary, I actually think. If there's a Hail Mary.
It looks like if like a Wicked Cranium's meta Cool Cat.
Yeah.
The art is good. The art is legit.
It is
and
good.
Crypto Mories for sure. It's at 0.36. I found out about this because Nick's mutual friend, who I met when I was in New York City, had a big bag of these, and he was like, they look pretty cool, right? And I was like, yeah, they actually do. The thing is like art alone is a tough, bag for the NFT space. Like only having good art isn't enough. You basically, it's a startup. Every project's like a legitimate startup. So for it to actually appreciate on the secondary market, it takes a lot. I think at that time, Crypto Mories probably was like 0.12 or 0.13 floor, and now they're sitting here in the 0.3. So shout out to everyone that's been long crypto Moris. I do
Sell
think
it.
that it'll be. Yeah, I think you should sell it. Quite frankly.
Oh yeah, I
If you've been in
remember
long.
we talked about this before because I said it kind of looked like the guy from Futurama, the
Yes.
Wood Doctor.
I really like these. I actually I haven't done enough digging on this one, but like this one to me is a reasonable buy. Someone asked about Robotos. I think that falls in the Deadfellows crowd as well. I view them as the same. One that's been really underperforming for me, unfortunately, and has been just a disappointment, but that I'm still holding is Savage Droids. That's a long-term one that I'm holding on to that I'm hoping we get as a pump. In terms of, someone just said sell it. I'm saying short-term. Short-term, take your gains during this run. That's my position. Not going to change. So yeah.
Okay. Well, anything else, gentlemen?
Yeah, do we want to play a round of gonna make it, not gonna make it, and just destroy somebody's life real quick, or how we're gonna do
I don't
it?
know if I have the energy. Let's do a weekend. Let's say that juice for a weekend sesh. Yeah, we already, we're already doing PR relations with all the broken hearts out there from the last one. Let's do it on a
Y'all are
Saturday
gonna make
sesh.
it then. That's the synopsis. Y'all are gonna make it.
Yeah, here's the thing: is there's two outcomes in life. It's very simple. You don't have 10 options. You're either going to make it or you're not going to make it. So you got at least a 50% chance, and that's better than most shots people get in life.
You only get one shot for most people, but in this case, you're gonna have multiple shots.
There's a couple different people in the chat also asking about top Solana projects. We will be having Easy Eats, I am sure, back on next week to talk some more Solana projects. Glad to see
tomorrow morning.
in that.
Tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow, listen to that. Tomorrow morning, talking Solana.
All right, y'all. Have a great one. Thanks for joining.
Thanks for joining.
Thanks.
See you guys.
Discord, thenifty.com/Discord. We'd love to see you there. And remember, smash that subscribe, smash that like, and give your family a hug.
Happy birthday, Nick.